All right, welcome to the Monday midday edition recap, week 13. Still Monday Night Football to go. This is Dr. Chow, David Chow, Pro Football Doc with Taylor Bicht, Sports Injury Central podcast, Pro Football Doc podcast. All right, so week 13 in the books. The season is flying by. This morning, you informed me that we're already in fantasy football playoffs.
Round two. Round two.
I did not know this.
Yes.
I mean, the really main fantasy, the only fantasy I do is that Scott Fishbowl. And I'm like, oh, yeah, hopefully I'll make the playoffs. So I've got 10 straight wins now. So since I got, because they do the above the mean, you get a point, and you beat your opponent, get a win.
Median win. Yeah,
whatever it is. And I was like, oh, well, ever since I got Brock Bowers and Kittle back, the ship has been righted. Mm-hmm. I hope I make the playoffs here. And then you look it up, and, you're already in the playoffs. It's like second week.
And you're doing okay in the second week, too. It looks like you might go to the quarters, it looks like, right? So we'll jinx ourselves. But, yeah, we're –
Yeah. I mean, look, a while ago, remember the first couple of years I did it, I was like, let's not embarrass ourselves because I'm not a fantasy guy. And I ended up winning the league a couple years in a row. But I ended up being Marty Schottenheimer, so to speak. And I love Marty, Coach Marty. But the reputation was make it to the playoffs, but then lose. And then at the advice of some fantasy guys, you got to do a little more boom or bust if you want to go somewhere in the playoffs. And I did that. And then I didn't make the playoffs one year. This year we have our double secret tight end strategy since you get 3.5 points. And I think I have on an average week, I play 7 or 8 tight ends. See, I didn't say 6, 7 because it's actually 7, 8 tight ends.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, 6, 7.
3.5 points per reception. Let's just bang out some catches. They don't even have to be long catches. For the tight ends, and it's working. We'll see. We'll see if we get through. Right now, slotted to get through to the. Would it be semis then? I guess. Or no,
you got quarters, semis.
We're still in the rounds. We're not to quarters.
Yes.
How was Thanksgiving for you, everybody?
It was first Thanksgiving for the little one. He might not remember, but I tried to eat turkey. I usually don't do turkey. We usually go out to eat and stuff. So this year we actually ate turkey. I know it sounds weird, but we had a good turkey dinner.
Yeah, we had no turkey. We were in New York.
Yes.
We went to a steakhouse, Peter Luger's. It was fun.
There you go.
It was good, but in the paraphrasing, one of our Sports Injury Central 6 Score supporters and podcast guest, Bill Belichick, paraphrasing him, we're on to Christmas.
Yes, great.
Thanksgiving is over. We're on to Christmas. The house actually was already decorated for Christmas. I came back one Sunday evening after a day in the war room, and the kids and the wife had Christmas stuff up already. They went from Halloween decorations down to Christmas up. And I don't know about your household, but we have a reappearance. We have the traditional last day of November reading of the Elf on the Shelf book.
Yes.
Because I have twins that we started with the Elf on the Shelf, we had 2 elves on the shelves. One called Charlie Brown Snoopy. Don't ask me why. They couldn't decide. And the other one, Wanda. And it somehow that might have came with the other one. I don't know. So it's Wanda and Charlie Brown Snoopy. And the most life-changing thing for us now, and I know my little would never watch this podcast, she's 8, is that the bigs that are now 13, they started when they were 12, they're in charge of hiding and moving the elves and finding a creative spot. So there's no more, honey, did you move the elf? No, I thought you did. Or, oh, we hear the kids rustling. Did you move the elf? Run, sprint out of bed. Try not to be seen. Move the elves without being seen touching them. Now it's up to the bigs. They each have one, and I posted it on Twitter a little bit. They each have one, and to hide and pose and do whatever. So on to Christmas. Why did I start this way? We're honestly stalling for a little bit of time. We're trying to get more injury reports from coaches. They seem to be slow to speak to get today. We have some, but don't worry. I'll tie this all into football. We are big on saying coach speak and even team speak. We went into it yesterday where we were trying to explain Frank Ragnow and his hamstring out of retirement grade 3, why we thought it wasn't a grade 3, why we thought, the team did what it did. And we talk all the time about coach speak. Let me tell you something. Here's how I'm going to tie it all in. In no way, shape, or form am I calling coaches or teams evil. They do things for a reason.
Right.
They know what they're doing behind the scenes, but it makes more sense to say something a certain way. It makes more sense to them to do an injury report a certain way. It makes more sense to Pete Carroll to just always be optimistic. It makes more sense for a John Harbaugh to hide the real truth from the opponents. And teams, and this is what you have to do. You have to read into moves. Like we read into the effectiveness of the Jalen Phillips move, right? The trade, because they were desperate. I think the Lions were desperate to get center help from Graham Glasnow being out. And they just knew that Frank Ragnow wasn't ready to go for a few weeks. Was it a grade 3 or not? It's just easier to tell the fan base it's a grade 3. We love Frank Ragnow. Easily explained. But the reality is he's not going to be ready for a few weeks. So what's the point? And Dan Campbell has said it. So why am I tying it all into Christmas? You, me, all parents, we routinely parent speak to kids.
Yes, we do.
We don't always tell the truth. We tell the parent version. Coaches are doing nothing different than that. Coach speak, code words, what the media wants to hear, what's appropriate for the general public to hear, what's appropriate for the kids to hear. We do parent speak all the time. Example of parent speak. We read the elf book. The elves are watching and going to tell Santa. I mean, think about this. Your biggest memory as a child, one of, has to be Santa.
Right.
And the day you find out Santa doesn't really exist, or as it's a process.
The game changer, yeah.
And what do we tell kids? Our kids, don't ever lie. Tell the truth. We tell you the truth. Always tell us the truth. Don't ever lie. You won't get in trouble if you aren't lying. Just fess up to what you did or didn't do. And what do? We perpetrate the Santa Claus and the elves. I'm guilty of it. I do it. I enjoy it. The bigs, they're 13. They're in on it now. They're doing the stuff for the little one who's 8. And we'll keep it going as long as she believes. We as parents are doing nothing different than what coaches and teams do with their coach speak, team speak. You can call it, we do parent speak. So that's my point of this. I wanted to get that clear. A, it's the holiday season. And B, because I get the feeling that sometimes when I do coach speak, the feeling is that I'm accusing a coach or a team of flat out lying. I'm not. It's just the spin or the interpretation that makes it best for them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what we do as parents to our kids, right? All the time, with Santa and Christmas as a prime example. Look, I mean, in some ways, is it right that we're telling our kids this big fat lie and going to great lengths to extend the lie?
Like you said, it's parent speak. Sounds like we're in theory you're blatantly lying, but that's not what we're really doing, right? It's just a different, yeah.
Parent speak, coach speak.
Right.
Enough said. That's what I'm saying when coaches are sending messages through the media, protecting the inside of their players, what really is or isn't happening, injury reports. It's coach speak. Think of it as parent speak. We all do it. There's a different angle to it. So I'm not hating on any coach or team in the NFL when they do team speak, coach speak. Like during the games in the war room, it's routine. We say all the time, well, that guy's not coming back. And then the interns, they're great, will say, oh, he got listed as questionable. Maybe he's coming back. No, that's just the initial designation.
Right.
So they have to declare it. Everyone gets, it's unusual to be declared out quickly. It's almost always questionable. Now, Malik Collins, D lineman for the Browns yesterday, was ruled out very quickly.
Really, yeah.
And that's because it was obvious, right? And in live time from the war room, we said patella tendon rupture, season over surgery. We're technically correct, but actually incorrect. It is part of the patella extensor mechanism, but instead of on the inferior side, which is the patella tendon attached to the patella, it's on the superior or proximal side. It's the quad tendon attached to the patella. No one has said quad tendon rupture yet, but even Kevin Stefanski said quad injury surgery, right? We know what that means. It's a complete tear of the quad tendon, part of the patella tendon extensor mechanism, but technically the quad side. Potato still means surgery season, tough recovery for a big man for the start of next season, hoping the best for him. But that's a blow to the Browns' strong defense.
I'm happy.
All right, Doc, first one I want to talk about, everybody's asking in the chat too. They're even asking, should I rewind? Should I go and see if they talked about it already? Obviously, the big name is Justin Herbert. If you go to our podcast at 4 o'clock Pacific time yesterday, we did talk a little bit about the Herbert. At the end, we did kind of get the little, the confirmation that there was a surgery involved. It did happen. It's going to happen today, this morning. It wasn't last night, by the way, just to confirm that. Just go quick about the injury. Harbaugh did say he wasn't sure if he was going to play Monday or not. I could probably go a little bit into that being coach speak maybe, because maybe he does know if he's going to play or not. But tell me the whole situation about Justin Herbert.
Okay. When you say, tell me the whole situation about Justin Herbert, this is from an insider knowledge perspective,
right?
Not insider information. Obviously, the Chargers were my former team. I stress former, not that I'm disavowing them. Look, love Jim Harbaugh, but I'm not texting Jim Harbaugh to say what's happening with Justin Herbert, and He wouldn't tell me anyways.
Not that kind of insider. Yeah.
Marco, the head athletic trainer, he was a part-time intern when I first met him in San Diego. Mm-hmm. Great physical therapist, great athletic trainer. He's the head guy. I'm not texting him to say what's happening, and he would rightfully not tell me. So it's insider knowledge, not insider information.
Right.
From the war room yesterday, when he headed into the locker room, there was a lot of chatter and an assumption that it was a head injury. He's getting a head check. And I'm like, oh, not so fast. We didn't see him go in the blue tent. Where's the red hat? Let's look at the video. And the video did not show anything with his head. But then there was suspicion that he got his left hand or finger. It wasn't a clear view on someone's helmet, face mask, got hit and favoring it a little bit. So that's when we said, okay, maybe it's his left hand. And there was some internet speculation. Remember you guys showing me, look at his finger. He dislocated his finger.
Yeah, close up. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I mean, just because the finger's a little crooked and it was down this way, is the injury here, or here? And I believe now the injury is here on the fourth digit.
Metacarpal, they said, right?
On the metacarpal, making it hand, which made the alignment of the whole finger droop a little bit. And instead of it being a finger dislocation, it is a fracture of the fourth ray at the metacarpal is what it appears to be. And that would make sense. Now, to Justin Herbert's credit, he finished the series and threw a touchdown pass before he came off the field and ran into the locker room. Credit to Justin Herbert, right? Not here to, who I'm not going to talk about now. But you get what I'm saying about the difference in terms of reaction. Justin Herbert is as tough as they come. He played through nothing. Went in the locker room, came back. They apparently put the white glove on, the Michael Jackson glove on, and that was really to hide the dorsal plaster or fiberglass splint that they made. That's why it took him a while to come back. And the bulkiness of the glove hid that. And he clearly couldn't take snaps under center. We saw that on TV. It was wincing when he did. So they went to 100% shotgun. And he was handing the ball offhanded, which and didn't cause any issues. Didn't throw as much. The Chargers won the game. And immediately afterwards, Jim Harbaugh, who Captain Comeback, love Jimmy. We've told Jimmy stories before. Love him. And he said, yeah, don't know if he's going to play. But you know why he says, I don't know if he's going to play? A, the surgery hasn't even happened. B, so he truthfully doesn't know for sure.
Because he didn't know. Yeah, he wasn't told yet.
B, he doesn't need to push Justin Herbert and say, I think he's going to play, and they're having pressure on him. He knows Justin Herbert is as tough as they come. Justin Herbert is the first guy who's going to say, I'm playing, right? And if you have a quarterback like that that's saying that, if you're trying to do coach speak and confuse the Eagles, the next opponent, you want to say, maybe he's not playing, or I don't know if he's playing, if you know deep down inside he is playing. In the same token, if you know he's not playing, maybe you say he got a chance to play. If that's the game that you're playing with coach speak. But I think Harbaugh told it like it was. I don't know yet. I don't know. Because the surgery hasn't even happened. Well, it might have happened now. It's
but not when he said it. Yeah.
Ish on the West Coast. And likely they did it first thing in the morning. As a doctor in the NFL, I can tell you, if we were doing a surgery the next morning, the easiest way to get it into your day the next day, because your day is not empty, it's filled with your regular patients and other things, even when you're a team physician, is to do it what? First thing in the morning. Why? At the hospital, the surgery center you're at, it's easier to start at 6 a.m. than to bump the 7 a.m. cases.
I'll say you have to bump
all day back.
You have to bump. If it's Herbert, like if you have other patients, if I need my finger thing and it's Herbert, you're bumping me for Herbert. I'm assuming more often.
Well, let's hold on a second here. We would have respect for you, Taylor. But let me tell you. First of all, if it were you and your finger, no offense, you would not have surgery for a week or two if you're lucky.
That's true, because I don't need it. That makes sense. Yeah.
Number one. Number two, you might not ever have surgery because you might live with a cast.
Okay.
And a bigger cast that restricts the hand and the fingers. Justin Herbert is having surgery not because he's in the NFL, well, partly, but I've done it before on high schoolers if the parents wanted their kid to try and play through.
Okay.
Based on what they need to do in life. And what he needs to do, what you need to do in life is compatible with a bigger cast or splint on your hand and fingers. What he has to do in his occupation in life is not compatible to that.
No. Yeah.
So the surgery is to put plates or screws on to help be able to then have a smaller splint on safely that he can grip with. And so first of all, you probably wouldn't even have surgery. Okay, number one. Number two, if you were going to have surgery and it was rotated and you needed to have surgery, you wouldn't have it the next morning. And even think of it this way. Justin Herbert didn't drive straight to the hospital last night to have surgery. This is not considered an emergency. It would be medically inappropriate to tie up trauma teams, people who are on call, in case there's a big motor vehicle accident or some, building collapsed, taking care of truly emergency things. That's why these surgeries aren't done typically like that.
Okay.
But they are still squeezing in him this morning, or have squeezed him in this morning. And in my experience, the easiest way is do it first thing. You could do it end of the day. But if you call up your staff and say, I need you to come in an hour earlier because we're doing surgery on, you probably know who from TV, and you're under HIPAA anyways,
right,
where you can't say, even the nurses and the scrub techs and whatever, they'll get up an hour earlier and come in and open up the OR to get it done. And it, guess what? Helps your doctor's schedule. And the doctor's schedule in the morning, first thing in the morning, is injury check the next day. So you just push off injury check a little bit, or you send your assistant doctors to do injury check, and you go and do the surgery. And quite honestly, in this era of specialization, it may not even be the team orthopedist that does the surgery. It could be the hand guy.
Okay.
They're affiliated with UCLA now, contractually, and maybe the hand specialist.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a hand specialist may not have Monday morning free because he's got patients at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. But you can say, can you come in early at 6 or 7 and
just do it real quick before you start your day?
Do the surgery before your day starts, and you call the OR and whatever, and you get it done.
Right.
And you're still fine, but you're not going to do it on Sunday. Way too long for that. The Monday helps you a little bit, but it's just a day. The biggest concern for Herbert to be able to play, number one, is you can't get an infection. And guess what? In 7 days, most post-op infections, the biggest risk is in the first 3 to 5 days. So the fact that you have 7 days, you're hopefully out of that window. They may leave stitches in longer in case, there's friction and opening up the wound. The splint has to be modified to be small enough to be usable for football, but big enough to have some safety, right? And assuming it's a non-comminuted fracture and they get good screw fixation, plate fixation with what we call lag screws, etc., as well as a plate and screws, we expect the stability to be better than it was yesterday when he finished the game. Does that mean he's going to take snaps under center? No. Does this mean he's playing? I do think he is. Can I guarantee it? No. Right? The surgery is either just happened or is happening, and we don't know the details on that.
Right.
Okay. But from this perspective, there's no question I've had several players play the next week after fixing one of these.
I was going to ask that next. Yeah, if you've had people do
a lot
that,
of them were on the offensive line, and guess what? You can put a bigger club on and really protect it. Herbert can't play with a club, that's why the only hesitancy of saying absolutely he's playing. But I would say very likely he's playing, but not 100%.
This is getting the weeds a little bit, Doc, but like if you're like an Eric Weddle, Derrick James type tackler, maybe, this isn't a week thing, right? You would be ruling me out for Monday and I'd be playing.
No, I mean, you can play in a bigger club if you're Eric Weddle.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. If you're Eric Weddle and you bring up that example because he's a good tough guy example.
Yeah. He played through it was a pec tear, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He played through a pec tear that 1 year when he came back with the Rams. Mm-hmm. He played through a lot of things with the Chargers as well. Eric Weddle used to take great pride that he said he's made of steel and you can't hurt steel.
Yeah.
That was the line.
Yeah.
And Eric Weddle's great. Mm-hmm. So Herbert is wired the same way. So the only thing is he's got to just have ball security and whatever. But here's the thing. With the great splint and the job that they did with the buddy taping yesterday, he's more secure for Monday night than he was this Sunday.
Okay.
Because of plates and screws.
That's right. Yeah.
You won't feel the micro motion. So this is why I'm optimistic that he can. The only pessimism for he can is if it's comminuted and it feels unstable and it would displace where you would need more surgery again. Whereas yesterday, if it displaces more, who cares? You can fix it with surgery, right? You don't want to expose Justin Herbert to a second surgery.
Right.
You can avoid it. But why was he allowed to play without surgery? And probably he had a block too. Numbed it a little bit as well. The reason why they could risk it is you're going to do surgery anyway. So if it moves a little more, you can fix it at surgery. But after surgery, you don't want it to move.
No movement.
So that's the yin and yang of it. So in summarize, I don't mean that to be so long-winded, but that's the type of insider knowledge stuff that we do. I think Justin Herbert is very likely to play next week. And Jim Harbaugh is expecting it. And that's why there's no need to put extra pressure on it. And Harbaugh does want to do the right thing by his quarterback knowing he's already as tough as they come.
Can I add another wrinkle too, Doc? If this is someone like a rookie quarterback, I don't even want to throw Brosmer under the bus from Vikings, but if this is someone like him, he needs the practice week. Is this someone, Herbert, is this good for Herbert that he's that kind of quarterback that doesn't need practice? Is that helpful?
That is a great question.
Okay.
And a very germane question. Okay. First of all, look, you got it. You mentioned already, they're going to have to keep him safe, et cetera. But here's the difference. If Justin Herbert doesn't practice this week, as any I said San Diego again, any Chargers fan, do you want Justin Herbert playing without practice, or do you want Trey Lance playing with?
You want Herbert without practice. Yeah, you want without practice. Yeah. Okay.
Let's say J.J. McCarthy. Do you want J.J. McCarthy playing without practice, or Max Brosner playing with a full week of practice?
You want McCarthy in hindsight.
Well, it's closer, right?
Yeah,
it gets closer.
Sure. It's closer. It's closer. Yeah.
That's my point, right?
Yeah.
It gets closer. We saw it earlier this season when Justin Fields was maybe returning, but Aaron Glenn said, Tyrod Taylor, he's got the full week of practice.
Mm-hmm. He's
right?
a veteran. Yeah.
He's a veteran, but also Justin Herbert new to the system. When you're the solid one, you play without practice, which going back in time is how we knew Jared Goff fell out of favor with the Los Angeles Rams. This is right before he was traded for Matthew
John Wolford start. Yes.
Because in that playoff start, John Wolford got the start, and Jared Goff was available to play as the backup. And as it turned out, Wolford got a first quarter concussion, and Goff played 3.5 quarters with no problems, started the next week. And there was no third quarterback behind him. You're not starting a playoff game with one healthy quarterback, Wolford, and one we're not sure healthy quarterback, Jared Goff. No one's playing a game with 1.5 quarterbacks. You're going to activate a third QB behind him. But they didn't, and that told us Jared Goff was okay. But that also told us they thought of Jared Goff here than they thought of John Wolford here. Or if they thought of John Wolford here, they thought of Jared Goff here.
Right.
There wasn't that much of a difference. If you don't practice this week, you're not playing. No one's telling that to Justin Herbert.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
That's why it's not going to be an issue. Justin Herbert, he's the unquestioned number one. He's a great quarterback. He can go through the mental reps. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was out there in some ways limited, going through some of the, just for the game plan stuff. You don't have to do much to be limited in practice. But even that, I wouldn't worry if it's a DNP on Wednesday, it would be Thursday, Friday. I actually would expect him to be limited Thursday, Friday, Saturday ahead of Monday. But even if there's a DNP, it's fine. I'm not worried.
And Wolford, I remember it was neck, by the way, Doc. He was ruled out with a neck injury.
Okay, neck.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The story is the same.
Yes.
Two wide receivers I want to talk about next, Doc. Remember, we just found out we're in the fantasy playoffs. Majority of people probably know they're going to be in. They're actually watching their teams. So there's two big names, Amon St. Brown and Marvin Harrison Jr. I want to talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. first. He had the heel injury, they said. He was in and out of the lineup coming in with injury. They said they put in an insert into his foot, was eventually taken out. I'm assuming he didn't like playing with it. You say most players don't. Tell me a little bit more about a heel injury wide receiver. Not a speed guy, really, more of a possession guy, but explain the situation of Marvin Harrison Jr.
Well, the heel gel pad, if you've got plantar fasciitis or a heel contusion, a soft pad there helps you. And I think that's maybe what he had. But the good news is, as a wide receiver, you almost play all your stuff on your toes. So that's why he was able to play coming off of appendectomy and actually be pretty effective here.
Right. Yeah.
And he had 6 catches. And I think this next week will even be more effective. So that certainly is good news. What I'm scrolling through here is the next one Amon Ra St. Brown. I'm trying to
yeah.
find the video of Amon Ra.
I can set up while you do that. Today, he did DNP today. It is Monday, likely walkthrough, so maybe not as significant, but a DNP is.
I just want to be sure. The video that I saw for Amon Ra St. Brown.
You said low. You said high ankle. I saw Pelosaro's report said low ankle. We don't usually go against, but yeah, what you see is what we go off our company. So I mean,
the video was more consistent with a high ankle sprain, although the video hid the ankle. He was hit from the outside, not the inside. So unless we can, I guess we can go back and look at more definitive views. I'm not seeing, this was obviously on Thanksgiving, and I remember seeing the video in New York. I'm trying to find the video now. Let's see. I'm not seeing it because there are so many videos between now and then. Here we go. Thursday.
I'm trying to help you here. Yeah.
I am finding it. Let's see.
Jacobs here. He was running fine. Leg whip. No, they just that was Daniel Jones. Oh, here I got it right here. Locker room. Here, I'll like it so it goes to your thing.
I am not sure why I'm not finding it. I just want to.
You go all the way to the bottom of your WhatsApp right now. I put it in there for you.
Okay, let's go there. Thank you. Sorry to do this live, but
I do that with your emails too, Doc. Don't worry. Sometimes you just everything. You got too much going on.
Yeah.
Are you seeing it?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, good.
And two angles of it.
Yes, yeah, you got two. Went right to the locker room.
I'm looking now again.
And he's had some past ankle issues.
I'm sticking with the low grade, not high grade,
yeah,
but a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, okay.
And I think he's dubious to play, especially the short week on Thursday to Thursday. No offense, Tom. I talked to Tom. I guess I shouldn't say that. I fully respect Tom. He's on it. His sources are accurate. But by video, I just reporting what I see with my eyes. I don't think Amon Ra St. Brown is playing this week. I think he's got a variety of a milder high ankle sprain, left ankle.
What we did talk about Sauce Gardner. You gave us the good news. We got confirmed today. They're saying week to week avoided injury. I want to mention that the Colts do play on turf. So some people always blame turf and grass, right? He did avoid injury on turf. So that's big news. You didn't see Achilles by video though, correct?
No, I saw a lot of you guys in the room. We're in the war room saying Achilles. Are you sure it's not Achilles? And one of the guys, great. He says, I saw the look back.
Yes.
What do we always say? Judge the injury, not the reaction. The look back is the reaction to the injury. And did not see the traditional Achilles mechanism pop. Looked like calf strain all the way. Of course, I can't tell what degree. And he was in a boot on the sideline, which probably is better, not completely on crutches. But even if it's low grade, boy, re-aggravation, calf injuries linger. Week to week, already, as we know, in the parent speak, coach speak, means what? Means more than 1 week, right? Means week to week means about a month.
Or
Day to day means about a week, right? So week to week means about a month. It's not a foregone conclusion that he doesn't hit IR.
Okay.
4 games. There's 5 games left, I think. For the Colts already had their bye, so there's 5 games left.
Yep.
I don't think he's done for the season. When he returns depends on, certainly, hopefully he's back for playoffs, assuming the Colts stay in their wild card now. But IR is not off the table yet for 4 weeks short term.
Next one, Doc. McCarthy, they said for the Vikings, he's expected to start week 14. I remember we had a debate whether, you have offensive line injuries. Does that matter who you start, whatever? They're starting McCarthy. That makes sense to you?
Well,
coaching decision.
right now you can argue about how he's played or not played. I get it, but right now in the Vikings locker room, he is still their future. You're not going to jeopardize your future. You shouldn't, and teams and Kevin O'Connell is not going to jeopardize you if you're the 53rd guy on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that needs to happen is he needs to get cleared before he starts. And if that does happen, I see no reason why he wouldn't start. I mean, did Max Brosner show us anything where you'd say he should play again? I mean, look, Kyler Murray, we've talked about Coachspeak. Jacoby Brissett was playing okay. Some people were arguing he won the job before Kyler Murray was placed on IR. And Kyler's about ready to come back, I think.
Right, yeah.
But my point is you have no reason not to go back to J.J. McCarthy if he clears concussion protocol. The only question is, does he clear it because of the late onset of symptoms where he self-reported? It's not a guarantee that he will clear. Could Kevin O'Connell make a decision to say, look, JJ, you really didn't get any practice reps this week. You got cleared late week, and we didn't really install the game plan with you. We have your, Darisaw less than 100%, Ryan O'Neal out, other line injuries.
Left guard too.
We're better off not jeopardizing your head and losing you for the rest of the season with a second concussion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that. But right now, if he's able to go and get some practice time in, I think he will go. And the trick there is you can pretty much take a majority or all offensive reps in a graduated way. You can have a full practice. As a matter of fact, you have to have a full practice before you get final clearance. So and the Vikings have right now 8 losses, so they're not out. I mean, yes, it's
a tough road ahead, but yeah.
They're not out, right?
They're not out, yeah.
Their backs are to the wall, but they're not out yet. So
4-8, like you said, yeah. One other Viking injury I want to mention, Doc. Aaron Jones with his shoulder reaggravation. They said not major, and they said day to day. We talked about week to week and day to day. Do you agree with that distinction for Aaron Jones?
I agree with it from this perspective. I think this is a very same or similar injury to what he had before, where I think he was taking an injection in the AC joint to play and play well. He is able to do the same thing, potentially. The only worry here is, does re-aggravation of an injury make you more conservative as a team, as a doctor, as a player, knowing that it could happen a third time? And knowing Aaron Jones a little bit, I think he plays through with an injection, but it is a little more complicated that it is a re-aggravation. But the day-to-day certainly gives us hope that he can play in a week. There's our day-to-day and in a week designation and thought process. But going back to concussions, the Detroit lineman, Browns, Jack Conklin.
Jack Conklin, right tackle, yes, correct.
Right tackle for the Browns. Second concussion this season. Apparently 4th one in his career.
Right.
He's destined for IR. Is his season done? I mean,
you could lean that way,
right? I mean, you can argue the Browns season is done, but that's a whole.
That's a different question. Yeah.
But inside their Browns locker room, they don't feel that way.
No.
Jack Conklin would never try and mail it in.
No,
they're at 3-9.
They are.
I don't know that they're statistically eliminated, and no one believes they're going to the playoffs. But the bottom line is Jack Conklin is likely to be out for 4 weeks of IR. And then at that point, there's only 1 week left. You might be better off not getting a third in the same season, because third in the same season sometimes has you out for a year or certainly a lot of the off season. So I think they'll play that conservatively.
I thought you were going to steal my concussion. My notes, 4-8 team that definitely has a chance their path. We talked about this multiple times as the Bengals, right? And this is a concussion. This is selfishly, I have my fantasy team, T. Higgins concussion. That one was a little bit different. There was reports that he was out cold on the field. It didn't look as great as, another concussion per se. Do you think he has a chance? Obviously, we need to look at the protocol, but this would be the second week if he misses.
Full disclosure, I'm not a neurosurgeon. I'm not a neurologist. I know about head injuries as part of sports medicine. I supervise the head injury process for us, but I wasn't the hands-on guy that did the exams for head injuries because I did the orthopedics, but we had other people. So I know about this. So I'm not belittling concussions. I'm just stating fact. No two concussions are the same. Concussions are like snowflakes. And just because a guy was out cold, as you say, versus a guy who wasn't out cold, that doesn't automatically make one longer or the other shorter.
Okay.
It's about how quickly symptoms go away. It does make sense if you're knocked out cold, your symptoms may go away more slowly than someone who saw stars for a millisecond.
Okay.
They're both considered concussions, but of course, there's different types and different degrees. And we've talked about in the future, we're going to have type 3B concussion, type 3C occipital lobe, type 2D temporal lobe concussions, and how they recover differently. We don't have that now. But T. Higgins already missed this week, Thursday. We knew that. So he's got 2 weeks. It's not unheard of for someone to come back in 2 weeks, even if they were, quote, out cold. It's practice progression if he has symptoms. If he DNPs on Wednesday for the Sunday game, that would be, worry level up.
Okay.
If he LPs by Wednesday or Thursday and gets an FP on Friday, that's worry level down, right? You got to see progression. The DNP on Wednesday, because you would have 10 days, would be worrisome. But if you see an LP, it would calm you down.
Our staff does a fantastic job, Doc, because they are listening to us talk right now. So they just put in our channel. T. Higgins was in uniform today during walkthrough. Obviously, today's Monday. They don't need to report anything till Wednesday. But that is a significant update, just him being there, or is that just still
it's
playing?
progression, right?
Yeah, okay.
If he's in uniform, even for a walkthrough, that's not. He still has headaches and he can't get out there. So certainly that's a good sign.
Okay.
And yes, I know the Bengals have a path to the playoffs. They're 4-8, but they have a path and Burrow's back. But Zach Taylor and the Bengals are not and cannot and would not and don't have the power to jury rig the system in any way, shape, or form to say, hey, we really need him this week. Getting him back next week isn't even going to help us. Our season may be done. They don't have the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And no respecting doctor, team doctor, and certainly not the independent neuro is going to listen to any of that. So they're just going to have to let it happen. Now, is T. Higgins jonesing to play? Probably. Is there unspoken pressure on the doctor? Probably. But nobody's going to the doctor to say, you have to clear him.
Making the rules different. Yeah.
There's unspoken pressure always, but nobody is going to. And this is why it was a bad luck when Dable went into the tent. He probably wasn't doing anything more than checking on the guy, but it's a bad look. And
you're putting pressure that wasn't maybe there.
He dressed down or yelled at the head team physician.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. We talked about it. Well, is he good or is he not good? He probably was like, you're out of the tent. Is he good or not good? And the answer was, yeah, I'm out of the tent because I checked his shoulder and his shoulder was fine. That's all I do. They're still in there with the head. That's probably what the misunderstanding was over. And he was like, you're out of the tent. Well, was he in? He's out. I mean, he wasn't trying to force him back in. He was just wanting to know because he misinterpreted that in the heat of the moment that the head doctor's out of there and therefore he's okay. That's not, therefore they know that's not true. See, that's an instance where he was the head team physician like I was. I did not stay in the tent during the whole exam. They would come talk to me afterwards and I would say, okay,
you stuff. You delegate.
You got to delegate. You got to let everyone do their job, right? You're not, and even the head team physician would never try and influence the primary care or the independent neuro, much less the head coach trying to influence them.
That makes sense. Doc, just real quick, sick picks. We'll have all these insights. I do want to mention a couple ones before we go. Mike Evans is expected to return to practice today, according to Todd Bowles. That's something that you mentioned to us previously. This is around the time for his collarbone. It's now time also for IR people. You had a big one, Rashid Rice, right, coming back from his stuff in fantasy. People are getting these boons now. Jayden Reed LP'd last week. He has a chance to return this week from his collarbone. Remember, he also used that time to get the foot right. And then you have Omarion Hampton, who LP'd last week too. Slight chance to return as well.
Well, let's go over those.
Yeah.
I'm pretty optimistic on Mike Williams.
Mike Evans
been able to work out lower body for a while already, and I think he may have a quick path to return and be effective.
No
And
decoy, like he's going to be effective. Okay, yeah.
Big boost for the Buccaneers.
Absolutely.
And Chris Conklin looked pretty good yesterday.
Looked all right first time this year.
Jalen McMillan looks like he's getting clearance to return and try to ramp up. I think Mike Evans is going to be a pretty quick ramp up. Okay. So why do I think Mike Evans is faster than Jayden Reed? They both have collarbone fractures, and I think Mike Evans might have been after.
He was.
The difference is Jayden Reed also had his 5th metatarsal fracture operated on. That stress fractured his foot that we talked about in the preseason.
Right.
That's what's going to hold Jayden Reed back. So I think Mike Evans' pathway is faster than Jayden Reed's, although he should be back soon too. And then the Omarion Hampton, we still don't know what kind of fracture. I've taken some Twitter grief. Oh, you said it was a bad sprain.
Back before we, see.
Look, is it a fracture or an avulsion fracture? With ligament injuries, there's always avulsions. That's the same thing they said about Aaron Rodgers. I've never questioned Aaron Rodgers' toughness. Does he have 3 distinct fractures, or does he have one fracture that goes 3 different ways? Did your driveway crack in 3 different spots, the concrete, or is it one crack in the concrete that goes 3 different ways, right? I mean, statistically, if you have a new crack in your concrete, it's not 3 simultaneous cracks in different spots. It's one crack that somehow is interconnected. That's all I'm saying about Aaron Rodgers, and he's as tough as they come. Fracture, just because there's any injury to the bone is a fracture. There's different types of fractures. Omarion Hampton, I'm not saying he didn't have a structural fracture. I'm saying that we don't know what type of fracture he had. And because it's a lower body injury, he could have a chance this week, but I would expect next week has the bigger chance for Omarion Hampton.
All right, Doc, well, that'll wrap it up. That's all I have here. Like I said, sickscore.com has all these insights. Go there. Sick picks. We have college basketball, NBA, as well as NFL all week long.
Season's still going well with all the sick pick stuffs, and thanks to the team of listening live and putting in updates and
helping us out. Yes,
helping us out. And I apologize for the long-windedness of this podcast. Maybe part of it is I've got patients at noon, and
you had extra time this week. Yeah,
but more. So don't ever worry again, Taylor, that we don't have enough to talk about.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I told you, I literally said I'm worried about this week. I'm looking at 49 minutes right now. So I get it. Yeah. I get it.
We are good. All right. Thanks for watching and listening, you guys.
Like and subscribe. Thank you, guys.